This video is sponsored by Iniba.com, a new gaming marketplace bringing you the hottest deals with up to 70% discount. Get cheap workout products as well as other games. Click on the link below and use code DORON to get 3% off. Hello guys, this is Doronsmovies, and today I'll be talking about the Alliance Navy and how powerful it is, covering the history, the structure, the ships, and the various lore bits about it. So without further ado, let's get into the lore. Traditionally, the Alliance has generally been the faction with a larger navy. This is mainly because it started through the tradition of the human kingdoms and just expanded from there, while the Horde only recently formed and created a naval force of their own. Even though the bulk of the armada sprung up from Stormwind and the other kingdoms, today it is very diverse, including other races both in terms of ships, manpower, and technology. In particular, it was heavily reinforced by gnomish engineering, not only with new ship designs but with a rework of the old ones. The Navy is key for the Alliance war effort, and it has literally been used in every single conflict, apart from the invasion of Outland. The Navy even played a part in the alternate Draenor by assembling the ships there. The size of the fleet has been fluctuating for years, and it has consistently suffered terrible losses, mainly in the war against the Horde forces, but also against the Burning Legion invasion, and now recently the Zandalari and Ashara. Actual numbers are unclear, but at one point Varian mentioned that there were 200 ships at his disposal, but that is unsure if it is just one fleet or the entire navy. The main construction yard and hub is located at the Stormwind Harbor, and it is where not only most ships were built at, but where most invasions and campaigns were launched from. Other bases and construction sites do exist, but they aren't anywhere near as important as the Stormwind Harbor. Throughout these years, the Alliance has had an excellent connection with their allies and was able to dominate the seas, although within the past few years the factions consolidated power more within their own continents. At one point, Alliance had ports all throughout the Eastern Kingdoms: Azermist Isle, Northrend, Pandaria, Terrasil, Darkshore, Terramore, and even Durotar, very close to the Horde capital city. The former ally Kul'Tiras joined the Alliance recently, and not only they added a very strategic point to the faction, but they also provided their very large navy. Unfortunately, a big portion of the ships were destroyed in the battle against Ashara. Still, Terramore had a fleet which was a part of Kul'Tiras. Kul'Tiras has been fabled for their fleet, Stormwind also, and possibly even other kingdoms had their ships retreat to Stormwind. This means that the Alliance has traditionally been a naval superpower, commanding a very large control over the entire world. In terms of ships used, there isn't really that much diversity, but there are a few ships that each serve their own specific purpose, and they all play a role in the grand strategy. Most importantly, you have the transports, both elven and the human ones. They are battleships at the same time, although they are very outdated now and replaced at this point, which is why they are mainly used for transportation, as they do seem the cheapest and the easiest to develop. After that, you have the battleships, which form the bulk of most Alliance fleets. First used during Pandaria, they're very similar to the transport ships, just reinforced with armor and new weaponry. They're susceptible to air attacks, but very effective at outclassing smaller destroyers, and are very mobile. There are many versions of it, some smaller, some larger, and they are some of the strongest ships within the Alliance armada. Then there is the Icebreaker, designed for the Northern campaign. It quickly became the main class of destroyer ships. It is often utilized to support larger battleships, although it can do a lot on its own, and it is very heavily armored on the sides. Steam powered with sails and masts, it also sometimes has gnomish and dwarven engineering, boosting it technologically. Then you have the smaller specialized submarines of gnomish design, which are used for various activities. They can strike surface and underwater targets, and can even take to land and function as ground assault craft. We've seen them used for all sorts of purposes, and as they have been developed throughout the years, they are now a key aspect of all the fleets. Other than the main Alliance ships, there are also Kul'Tiran variants, which are very powerful in their own right. There is the massive flagship, equipped with 2 rows of cannons and heavily armored, being the largest vessel of the navy. There are also the medium-sized destroyers used for battle, transport and trade, and come in a few variants, usually mobile and supporting larger ships. There you have it, those are the main ships of the Alliance fleets that we know. Usually the Armada is also supported by the Air Force, although that is a topic for another video. In terms of how powerful the Alliance Navy is, I would say that they are the most powerful naval force on the planet. Sure, they have been destroyed countless times, sure the Kul'Tiran fleet was obliterated, but the Alliance possesses many dockyards, a long naval tradition, experienced and battle-hardened personnel, and they are very well connected even to this day throughout most of the world of Azeroth. Humans were a naval force for a long time, but now with the gnomes and the dwarves being a part of the faction, their ship designs were significantly bolstered, and use of submarines and other vessels drastically altered their strategy and tactics. So overall, I would say the Alliance possesses the most powerful navy on Azeroth. Thank you for watching. Check out who are the physically strongest races in the game by clicking on the screen, and also check out the second channel that just launched for videos on real world history and science. See you next time.